Marvel is back! So, Fantastic Four reactions are in. So, I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes at all, whatsoever. Let me see. Rotten Tomatoes, Fantastic Four First Steps. All right, what do they have for it right now? 88%. Okay. I mean, still don't care because I cannot trust them after all the debacles that have happened since starting with Captain Marvel. Now, I have heard, though, that Jeremy Jahns liked it. And while I trust him, he's actually, he's more lenient, shall I say, with certain things than I am. So, I trust him. Do I like everything that he likes? No, but we tend to agree the majority of the time about the films that I've noticed that we've both seen. So, that does help me think that I might like this. So we have an article here talking about all the reviews that have come out. Marvel is back! How many times are we going to keep hearing that Marvel is back? Weren't they saying that Marvel was going to be back with Captain America: Brave New World? Then we heard it was back with Thunderbolts. Now we're hearing it's back now. And both of those times it wasn't back. So, the biggest predictor of of future performance is past performance. And in the recent past, Marvel has sucked. So let me see here. Following the Fantastic Four First Steps having its red carpet premiere in Los Angeles on Monday night, the first batch of reactions is hitting social media. Update. Rotten Tomatoes score is in, and it's not as glowing as some of the reactions would make you think. Oh, interesting. The first reactions to Fantastic Four First Steps are mostly positive, with critics praising its unique tone, visual, and cast. Though some stop short of calling it a home run, many are calling it the most visually distinct Marvel movie in years, with several describing the style as retro-futuristic and inspired by Jack Kirby's original comic art, which is cool. Which is an interesting way to go. Viewers also praised the IMAX presentation and Michael Giacchino's score, calling it one of the best musical accompaniments in the MCU. Performance are getting strong early buzz, especially Vanessa Kirby's take on Sue Storm, and several critics say steals the show. Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards is also singled out for a powerful third act performance, and the family dynamic between the cast, especially Joseph Quinn's Human Torch and Eben Moss Bacharach's Ben Grimm, is being called authentic, funny, and heartfelt. One reaction even said, "We finally have a Fantastic Four movie where you care about the characters." I cared about them before. What are you talking about? I cared about them in the first two. Of course, that last movie was absolute trash. Nobody cared, but those first two I cared about. Tonally, Fantastic Four is being described as different from recent MCU fare. It's hard to believe that, but it leans more into character drama and sci-fi than superhero spectacle, with some even calling it the most comic book accurate Marvel film to date. Okay. Themes of family and sacrifice are central to the story, and the movie reportedly focuses more on emotion and relationships than nonstop action. One review mentioned that the film feels like a 1960s movie in a 2025 wrapper. And that's meant as a compliment. See, there's a few things in there. Calling it the most comic book accurate Marvel film to date doesn't mean anything if it's not good. So that never has meant anything to me. Okay, a comic book, is different from a TV show, is different from a video game, is different from a movie. They're all different. And when you translate, when you transfer those stories from the comics to the TV, the movies, or video games, you have to do it correctly. That's the reason why they're failing now, because they're not doing things correctly. So just because I'm hearing this, as soon as I hear, oh, it's so comic accurate, it doesn't mean anything if it's not done right. Okay? Same thing for Superman. Oh, it's so comic classic accurate. Only some of the things were, and there were a bunch of other things that were not. Okay? But just because I'm like, oh, that happened in the comics, that doesn't make me like it more. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear that, I don't care. As soon as someone says, yo, it's the most comic book, I don't care. Was it good? You get what I'm saying? Themes of family sacrifice are central to the story, and the movie reportedly focuses more on emotion and relationships than nonstop action. That could be good or bad, depending on how you're doing it. People usually do go to comic book movies for spectacle. It's the fights. You know what I mean? Period. It's the fights and the action and chases and stuff like that, an origin of how it happens, discovering powers, fine-tuning powers. We do care about the relationships of the characters, but without the fights, it sucks. You get what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's just another drama or something else. So they have to do it right. I felt like that with the Batman. Like the Batman did really well telling that story. It was a slow burn. It wasn't a ton of action, but I felt like I had enough Batman. I didn't feel like, man, there ain't enough Batman in this. I didn't feel like that. So if they're selling the story right, cool. Not all the feedbacks are glowing, though. A few reactions noted that the film may feel uneven or underdeveloped in places, with comments like, I liked it, wish I loved it, and something's missing. Another common note was that while the movie starts strong and looks great, the humor occasionally undercuts serious moments, which is a problem many people have with Marvel in the first place. I usually haven't had a problem with Marvel comedy, but whatchamacallit, like certain ones, like, Thor Love and Thunder and Ant-Man, Quantumania. Just certain things, it just wasn't done right. As a whole, though, the majority of the time, I enjoyed Marvel stuff and didn't have a problem with most of the jokes. And some characters didn't even get enough time to shine due to Kirby's dominating screen presence. Oh, so what they do? They changed something? Because we kept hearing that it was her movie, right? That she's the leader. So what did they do? They changed something. Well, we'll make sure we make the changes to make Reed the leader because we're hearing backlash from it. But we'll make sure it's her movie. Other characters didn't get enough. I tell you this, is going back to the comedy, I've never felt like comedy undercut serious moments to me. I guess it just flowed properly for me. But if you think about it as a whole, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right up to Endgame, if you think about, or Infinity War, I'll go right up to Infinity War, right? Right up to Infinity War, the majority of it worked for most of us. Whether there was comedy or not in it, it worked for most of us. And the numbers show. You know what I mean? Still, the overall takeaway is that Fantastic Four First Steps is a bold, refreshing swing for Marvel. One that largely connects. Some are calling it the best MCU film since No Way Home. And you're right. And others say it's the most they've cared about the MCU team in years. For longtime fans, it seems like this might finally be the Fantastic Four movie that gets it right. I felt like the first movie got it right. Second movie, but I still like the second movie. So, When I'm going into it with an open mind. Like I said, I've been fooled before. I didn't think I was gonna like. I wasn't sure about the Batman, but I ended up loving it. So, you never know. I've been to movies where I thought I was gonna love it, ended up not liking it a lot. You can be fooled in both ways. Fantastic Four reactions. Fantastic Four is the most visually appealing MCU installment in years. Kirby lives up to the Sue Storm hype. The Ben and Johnny banter had me cheesing like crazy. Pedro wowed me with his third act performance. There's something missing though. Like Wish I Loved. Liked Wish I Loved. Okay. Just saw Marvel Fantastic Four, and well, Marvel's first family has finally arrived. Shackman pulls Fantastic Four and their science fictional world right out of the comic books. This is the most comic booky film Marvel has ever released. Well, we always have to remember there's good comic booky and bad comic booky. We just have to see if they did it right. The MCU is back. Let's see. Fantastic Four is one of the most visually pleasing MCU films to date. See it in IMAX. Also, I don't care to. Doesn't matter. Loved the cast, but I am so sad to report I was a bit let down. Okay. A lot of good, some bad, but a great time overall. Chemistry is great. Love the family feel. Score, setting, production value on the practical set drops you right into the action and doesn't have any lulls. Really good. I like a movie that doesn't lull too much. Also funny in a less typical MCU quirked up way. Fantastic Four is a refreshing break from the MCU's meta mess to tell a sharp story about heroisms, challenges, and compromises. The stakes are tangible and affecting, but Shackman's reliance on humor nearly undercuts them. Vanessa Kirby joins the upper echelon of MCU players. I'm sure she does. Fantastic Four is the most visually stunning and tonally distinct MCU film yet. All four of the main members kill it, with Vanessa Kirby being the standout. Giacchino's score is an all-timer. You will not regret watching this movie. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to read. Oh, God, there's like 20 more. I just wanted to get an idea for it. You will get my full-fledged, honest movie review tomorrow. Unless they send me a screener right now. Hear me, Disney? Send me a screener right now so I can watch it online. I know y'all got stuff like that probably. But yeah, do that and it will be out tomorrow. So make sure your bell is on. Make sure that bell is on. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Do you believe these reviews? Do you not believe these reviews? These are the critics. So we know that some are paid shills. Some aren't paid shills. Some are given incentives like early screenings and gift boxes and t-shirts and mugs and all this other type of stuff. I do believe we've got some real deal people out there that are movie reviewers. However, in this time of the woke, we know that many have sold their souls and told us that movies were excellent and great and the best thing ever, and Marvel is back and The Flash is the greatest movie ever and all this other stuff. We've got different people playing different parts in the movie industry that have been telling us untruths. Okay? So just let me know whether you believe it or not. I personally am in the whole feeling of I don't believe it until I see it. That's how I am. No, and that's no matter who says it. Like, hey, Jeremy Johns likes it. Drinker could come out and say he likes it. Neurotic could come out and say he likes it. There's a few others out there that I watch. They could all come out and say they like it. Snarky J could say she likes it. If they do, I'll be like, really? Okay. All right. But I'm still not going to believe it until I see it. You see that? See what they've done to me? See what Marvel and the whole movie industry has done to me? Like, normally I would just hear those few people and a few others say that they all loved it and I would believe them. But there's still a hint of doubt in me, no matter what, because of what they've been doing to us as fans. 10 million subscribers. Woo!